It was late evening in the city, the kind of cold dusk where streetlights flicker alive and shadows stretch longer than the day itself. Daniel Reed, a self-made millionaire known for his sharp suits and sharper business instincts, had just stepped out of his black car after a board meeting. His mind was still calculating profits and strategies when something unusual caught his eye at the corner of a small convenience store. There, sitting on the cold pavement, was a little girl, no older than 8 or 9, clutching a baby wrapped in an oversized blanket. She was awkwardly holding a small carton of milk, trying desperately to feed the infant. The milk dripped more on the blanket than in the baby's mouth. The baby cried softly, its face red with hunger and cold. Daniel slowed down. He could have walked past, it wasn't his business. But something in that fragile scene pulled him in. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked, lowering himself to her level. The girl looked up, startled, her eyes wide with fear. She shook her head quickly, almost defensively, as if she expected to be scolded for even being there. "I'm fine. I can do it. I have to," she whispered. Daniel's chest tightened. He noticed how her tiny hands trembled from both the chill and the weight of responsibility far beyond her years. The baby fussed louder, and Daniel instinctively reached out. "May I help?" he asked gently. The girl hesitated, then reluctantly nodded. Daniel held the carton steady, tilting it just right, and suddenly the baby latched on, drinking peacefully. The girl's shoulders sagged with relief. That was when Daniel asked the question he couldn't ignore. "Where are your parents?" The answer froze him. "They're gone," she said simply. "Since last year. I take care of him now. He's my brother." Daniel stared at her, stunned. For a man who had everything, penthouse apartments, luxury cars, more money than he could ever spend. He had never seen courage look so small, yet so powerful. An 8-year-old, carrying a responsibility that would break most adults. His voice cracked before he could stop it. "How long have you been out here?" "Since morning. I try to get milk for him when I can. Sometimes people help, sometimes they don't. But he has to eat." Daniel felt his throat tighten. Memories flashed, his own childhood, the days when his single mother struggled to put food on the table. He remembered the hunger, the fear, the cold. He had vowed never to go back to that life. Yet here, in front of him, stood a child living the very nightmare he had escaped. At that moment, business deals, stock markets, and luxury no longer mattered. What mattered was this little girl, who had chosen love and sacrifice instead of giving up. Daniel took a deep breath, steadying his emotions. Then, without thinking twice, he said, "You won't have to do this alone anymore." The girl blinked, not understanding. But Daniel meant every word.